Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode here on the Talkdaily. We're going to be talking about Mazda CX-60. And why am I so excited? Because this Mazda Inline 6 engine. Yes, the Inline 6 is returning. People are actually making them. I am so happy. And before I go any further in ecstasy, I gotta tell you first about obviously the article. It comes from Car and Driver, written by Mike Duff. As always, I have a link to this article in the description below. And why am I using Car and Driver? I don't know. I like them, and they're more like the layout is nice. But as always, I'll encourage you guys to go read it. These articles are very well written. I'm just kind of glimpsing over and kind of give you my opinion of the matter. So why am I excited? Inline 6 engines are, I don't say a dying breed, but no one is making them beside the Germans. I don't know. If I'm wrong, let me know. I know BMW and Mercedes and even those companies they're pledging to go all electric. So the fact that Mazda is bringing you a brand new inline 6 engine in 2022, 2023 is fantastic. When everybody's trying to pull away from gasoline combustion engine investment, that is, everyone's trying to go electric. Not saying these engines are not going to have electric assist, but the electric assist that Mazda's designing is inside of a transmission is extremely clever. Again, it's the link in the article. You guys go ahead and read and nerd out on that. But I think it's just fantastic, and I think the car looks great. Currently, what you're looking at is the European model spec that we don't have here. So Mazda push upscale enter a new phase with a freshly launched European Mazda CX-60. This model is closely related to the CX-70 we will be able to buy here in the state. And I think it just looks beautiful. I mean, looking at the car, I think it looks fantastic. The profile of the vehicle, the long hood, it's a nice looking car. I mean, I'm trying to get to the first shot right here, and you just look at it. It just looks beautiful. This one is a diesel, a CX60. And again, this is just in Europe. We're not going to have that in the state because diesel. It is what it is. But it has a very good thermal efficiency, 40%. But regardless, I don't know why. If you know why, let me know in the comments below why diesel never works in the state. I mean, we have diesel trucks, but I guess trucks emission is different than automotive emission. Again, the car just looks fantastic. I love how this car looks like, and this is the 60, not the 70. The interior is very Mazda-like. I love the steering wheel. I love a T-shaped steering wheel. That's my favorite design of steering wheel. It allows me to grab. I know my orientation. Again, don't look at this car saying it's going to be a sporty vehicle. It is not going to be a sport car. I mean, Mazda proud themselves of making a good handling car. All their cars handle good. Do they handle like a, I don't know, plug in some fast sport car? I mean, you have to look at it in perspective of other vehicles, okay? But the bottom line, they feel good. I've driven a lot of Mazdas, and they do definitely feel good. Don't talk back about the old Mazdas, okay? We're not going back in time to historic era. We're talking about modern Mazda, and they good. I mean, there is understeer. Most of their vehicles are front-wheel drive, but I mean, at the limit, yeah, there will be understeer. But when you're driving it, is good. And if you're driving this vehicle and you're trying to go to the track, well, what? Oh, okay. I wouldn't take this specific vehicle to the track from Mazda. I will take the Miata. I mean, what? But anyways, never not to mention, it's not. It handles good, which you want. When you drive on the freeway, you're changing lane. It is good to have a vehicle like it responds to your input very smoothly, and this car does. Now, looking at the layout, one thing I want to mention, going back to the article. They say that Mazda new e-SKYACTIV caliber architecture, the CX60, is the first in a series of longitudinally engineered SUVs intended to move the brand positioning closer to premium rivals. They're looking at BMW, obviously. The CX70 will be wider and, we're told, a stylish American taste in mind. I don't know what that means. Probably more cheese. Whole American cheese. Well, I love our cheese and barbecue sauce. I'm making shit up, excuse me, but, meaning it should possess more visual presence. Ooh. We demand more visual presence than the European. I don't know. Look, marketing, whatnot, whatever works. Which is roughly the size of BMW X3. The CX60 is roughly the same size of BMW X3. And they saying, the article is on saying they have nothing but praise for the CX60 cabin, and they have different spec. They have the Takumi specification featuring wood trims, dashboard face with the woven fabric, a shiny metal accent. It looks great. The display is 12.3-inch central display. Screen are standard. It looks nice. I don't know, mentioning something about a Cadillac. Shiny metal accents seem inspired by the fenders of the 50s Cadillac. Okay, I'll leave that one right there. The C60 keeps conventional HVAC controls, and the CX70 likely will too. I don't have any issue with these controls. I'm talking about the controls over here in the cabin. I like buttons. I have no problems with buttons whatsoever. The cabin looks kind of roomy. I mean, that's an SUV, so you know, have good amount of space. I want to take a look at the interior. They're talking about the buttons right here, and I don't have any issues with that. I have no issues with that whatsoever. Of course, going to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc., etc. It's all going to be there. You're going to have wheel controls as we expected. I want to find the engine. So let's get to the point. In Europe, they're going to have a 3.8-liter inline 6 that uses variable compression and forged the turbocharging that becomes all standard. Oh, for those, there is no turbocharger. And nice, beautiful. In Europe, the CX60 would also be offered with a new 3.3-liter e-SKYACTIV D Diesel 6, for which Mazda is targeting an impressive thermal efficiency of more than 40%. But it is highly unlikely to make it to the state. Power and torque rating have not been revealed. The base power plant that we're going to have for the CX-70 is going to be 3.0-liter inline 6 that uses variable compression and no turbocharger. Wow, you're going to have response. It's going to be beautiful. Don't forget, they have the electric engine in the transmission. That is something Mazda's doing. Mazda's like investing a lot. I love them. I love how they're thinking out of the box. They're doing their own thing. Remember, Mazda doesn't have any plug-in hybrid. This is going to be the first one that's going to have a plug-in hybrid. That's for the whole lineup. The car they drove, car and driver, was fitted with the least exciting new power plant. That's not the one they want to drive, although the most innovative one. This is the plug-in hybrid I was just talking about, Mazda's first, and anticipated will be offered in the CX-70 as well. It uses 188 horsepower, 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 2.5-liter from the CX-5. Oh, okay, so the CX-5 engine, in conjunction with 172 horsepower electric motor that sits between the engine and the new 8-speed gearbox. So one thing that we're talking about is when you accelerate, you're going through gears. But then they mentioned that they feel like, you know, you're going transition from the electric to the gasoline engine. That was kind of it wasn't smooth, but come on. It's the first model. It's an experimental model, and a lot of people are going to buy it because it's new, and, you know, Mazda just keep refining this technology. Moving on, the transmission saying they're using electronically controlled clutch pack rather than torque converter to aid in low speed efficiency, and the same gearbox is set to be offered with the 6-cylinder engine. A total system output of PHEV is 323 horsepower with a 17.8 kilowatt per hour battery pack, able to deliver up to 39 miles an hour if EV range under Europe generally optimistic testing protocol. 39 miles EV range. I don't understand these things. I guess it's good. You know, let's just say it gives you some mileage, 20 mile electrically only range. So the impressive figures, definitely impressive figures, not as good as Toyota or the Volvo CX-60 recharged T8 extension range PHEV. Okay, that's not as good, but, you know, Mazda is entering the game right now. It's entering the game. Mazda battery can be fully charged from a 240 volt level 2 equipment in claimed 2 hours 20 minutes. Okay, or alternatively topped off courtesy of the engine burning extra gasoline. And I don't have any problem with that. I love it. It's just basically like a Prius. On the electric power, the CX60 PHEV is smooth and refined. They talk about it when the engine engages, kind of a clunky. It's okay. And then they mention the engine. It's a 2.5 liter is not charismatic comparing to the loud. It doesn't sound, you know, loud. They're saying it doesn't want to go past 5,500 RPM, although the red line is 6,500 RPM. It's just... again, I mean, when I look at these cars, to me, look at the price. I mean, what you're buying a vehicle is $45,000, and you want it to sing like it's be reasonable. Be reasonable. If you want a better engine, you're gonna have to pay more, and I'm fine with that. Then I talk about the 0 to 60 is 5 point something second, and there's one thing that caught my attention. I get to you, 5.3 seconds 0 to 60, but then they mentioned the RX-7. Oh, the RX-7. It's funny they brought the RX-7 and brought that thing back from like 25 years ago. An estimated low to mid 5 seconds 0 to 60 should make this the brand's quickest car since the RX-7. Wow. Wow. Really? Since the RX-7, not the RX-8. The RX-8, we don't talk about the RX-8. I like the RX-8, but I make a video about the RX-8 by itself. But the RX-7, are you for real? Wow, since the RX-7, Mazda haven't made a car to top it off until now. I'm pretty sure they could make the Miata really quick, but they don't because again, money. But anyway, it's good. It moves fast. 5.3 seconds is more than enough. The chassis is more satisfying than the engine. Again, they talk about what I mentioned before. The car handles good. Yeah, I know it. I love Mazda. They're usually all of them handle good. And I say the athleticism is the finest Mazda tradition. The CX60 resists understeer well for a vehicle of its shape and size, even when it has a 20-inch wheels. The CX7 will be a different car, as will be related to the CX90. So now that's 60, 70, and 90. And the more the number goes up, the price will go up in the more luxury. So it's really exciting. They're obviously looking forward for the Inline 6. In a nutshell, the vehicle is front engine, mid motor, all-wheel drive, 5-passage, 4-door wagon. The price is about $42,450, and they have a different lineup. It goes from $42,000 to $46,000, and this is obviously they're using like the pounds, and that's transitioning from the pound to the US dollar, and that's where they're getting these numbers from, because that vehicle is British pound sterling. I don't know. Anyway, power terrain, dual overhead cam, 16 valve, 2.5 liter engine. They weren't too impressed with that. 188 horsepower, but with the electric motor, makes you go to 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. That's very respectful. As far as the MPGe, the combined is 36, the city is 37, and the highway is 34. Say what now? The city is 37, the highway is 34? Wait,
how is this happening?
why is the highway worse? Is it because of charging the battery? Say what? Alright, someone figured that out. I'm just gonna assume because when you're cruising, it's probably charging the battery, and some of that energy is going into charging the battery, so the MPG drops. That's odd. It's not a typo. Not usually on the highway you have better MPG, right? You just at a constant speed. You know, you're not accelerating, decelerating. I don't know. A quarter mile in 13.8 second, irrelevant. If you're doing quarter miles in this car, I don't. I have questions for you. Many questions. Okay. As far what else? Wheelbase, curb weight, passenger. Yeah, we kind of went over all that stuff. Yeah, it's a great car. I'm excited about it because this is Mazda making an Inline 6 engine when everybody is going to fully electric. You wanna buy a Mercedes? Fully electric. You wanna buy this? Fully electric. Mazda saying, "Oh, we're making the Inline 6. You want our cars? You want, you like the layout? We have it. We have the beef. We have the Inline 6. I love Inline 6. They're beautiful engines. So good job for Mazda. And you're trying to get one. I do believe it's coming out at the end of the year. So we'll see when it's gonna come out. This technology is most likely 2023. Most likely the end of the year. You're gonna see the stuff coming out, the Inline 6, and it's really, really exciting. And I love the fact they put that electric engine between the engine, the combustible engine, and the transmission. That's very, very clever. So but obviously they're having issues as far like going from the electric engine powering the gasoline engine. They were saying there's a couple of hiccups. It's interesting, but I like that idea because if you think about it, and I'll show you a picture right here. This is what's going on in between the engine and the transmission. There's basically the electric motor laying in here. You see this where my mouse is, and I think this is very clever. This is from Car and Driver, and Joey Caparella wrote it in November 11, 2020. It's kind of old, but I just want to show you this picture because it shows you that what I'm talking about as far as the engine, transmission, and where the power output is going to be right there in the middle. I think that is very, very clever, and maybe that's going to be the future. If you have an electric motor and you combine it to a transmission in that fashion, you could still go through gears. Yeah, that'd be awesome if someone does that. Hey, Mazda, you're listening. If you do that, that would be fantastic. Can you imagine? You're going through the gears. You still have a manual car and it's electric. Just go. I mean, there'd be no sound, but you can make the sounds in your head. That's what I would do, and I'll start making my own, turbocharger sounds. Anyways, lastly, just scamming through all the pictures. I don't mind all that display, whatnot. It's all good. I really do think it looks clean. It's just a clean looking car. It looks really clean, really nice. It's beautiful and spacious. The plastic cover for the engine is just standard right now. Everybody does that. Again, it's just nice. 20-inch wheels. That's the chrome they're talking about on the tip. Oof, that's fancy. Just nice big grille. It's a beautiful car. Anyways, as always, hopefully you enjoyed it. And as always, take care. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.